Hey, what's up? Swampthangg here. So the ladder reset this week, and I just finished my climb to legend, and I wanted to share the deck that I've been playing. For the first time, I played exclusively one deck all the way to legend. The deck we're going to be talking about today is Aggro Paladin. This is an even more aggro version than what you're probably used to seeing. What's great about this deck is that each game is like 6 to 7 minutes long, so as you're playing dozens of games to get back to legend or trying to get there for the first time, you can just rip through games. So in this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about this deck in 5 minutes. That's it. We're going to cover matchups, mulligans, deck strategy, and after that, I've included a bunch of games that I played on stream. Did someone say stream? That's right, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/swampthangg every Monday and Thursday, and sometimes on the weekends, playing decks like this and other awesome decks. Come hang out. If you're just looking for a deck list, you can find that in the comments below. While you're down there, make sure to like and subscribe to make sure you never miss any deck guides that come out in the future. Okay, Paladin time, let's go. So here's the deck. Pretty ain't she? I played a few versions of this deck while climbing. The first had Tyrion, Cairn Bloodhoof, and Tuna Ruby and Eggs. I felt that these cards were too slow, and every time I played them I was already in a losing position, and the Tyrion and Cairn didn't really feel like they had that much impact. So I ended up switching those out for Argent Protector, Argent Braggart, and Mankrik. What I like about these cards is that it helps you both early game and late game. The Divine Shields from the Argent Protector are awesome for trading. Mankrik is a strong body to play on board, and when the 3/10 comes out, if you can buff that, it has so much staying power and can win you a lot of games. And the Argent Braggart is fantastic for making another 4/4 or late game making another 10/10, which is usually enough to push you over the edge. It took me about 100 games to get back to legend this month, and I have about a 63% win rate with this latest version. I think what's next is maybe swapping in an Ogremancer for an Agent Braggart or something else, just to have a little bit more staying power against priests, warlocks, and mages. Alright, so you're probably saying stop talking about your climb to legend and tell us about the deck. So how do you win with this deck? Buffs. It's what it's all about. Play a minion, you buff it up, you smoke them in the face. It's that simple. So you have 3 main buffs that you care about. You got little buff, and it draws you a card. You got medium buff, and you got big buff. This is the buff she tells you not to worry about. This thing's insane. At some point in every single game you play, you're going to play one of these buffs on a Crab Rider and see if your opponent has a response. If they don't, probably win the game. The best start you can have is coin out a Crab Rider, hand of it all on 2. If it goes unchecked, you've probably done half their health at this point while dominating the board. Game's pretty much over at that point. Late game, playing a Crab Rider or Samuro with a Blessing of Authority to clear their entire board and set up a huge threat is usually enough to swing the game that they might just concede. So now I'm going to cover the do's and don'ts of buffing with this deck. Don't save your buffs for the perfect opportunity. You need to use them to generate pressure and force your opponent to respond. Don't play Blessing of Kings or Blessing of Authority if the mage has 10 cards in their hand and they haven't played Devolving Missiles yet. You're going to be punished. Try and play around it. Play a bunch of cheap minions, use your hero power to build a board so that even if they use Devolving Missiles, there's a chance that you still have a real threat. If you're playing against a priest or warlock, don't buff 2 minions to be threats. Focus on 1 minion. They're going to use Hysteria, and you're going to cry. Do try and spread out your buffs as best you can. If you create a moderate threat that forces them to use a Hysteria or a Twisting Nether, and then on the next turn you can follow it up with even more buffs, they might not have an answer, and that's usually enough that you can win that game. You have to keep throwing out threats and forcing them to have an answer to respond. And in the longer matchups, you just have to keep going until they don't have a response. In general, if you have Hand of Adal on 2, you should play it on a minion because of the early game pressure. You'll be able to clear the board, start doing damage to their face. They can trade it with a weapon, but they still are going to take additional damage. The one exception here would be if you have a Crab Rider that you wanted to play, and maybe you do the Crab Rider and Hand of Adal on 4, or maybe you want to use Hand of Adal on Blademaster Samuro to clear a wide board if you know that's coming against a Hunter or a Rogue. Okay, mulligans. It's actually pretty simple with this deck. First day of school, always keep it. This card's busted. To get 2 1-drop minions, and a lot of 1-drop minions are pretty strong, this allows you to smooth out your curve and generate a lot of tempo over the early turns. The next card to always keep is Crab Rider. If you can coin this out on 1 or play it on 2 and buff it up, you can generate so much early game tempo that forces your opponent to change their game plan to stop it. Next card is Hand of Adal, really strong card, buffs a minion to give you board control, and allows you to draw a card. This deck doesn't have a ton of draw, so playing this early to get more cards in your hand is super important. And then you got your choice of 1-drops. You've got Knight of Anointment or Righteous Protector. Both are strong. Knight of Anointment's better in control matchups where you just want to generate cards. You might get a buff that you can play, but it has less staying power on the board. But Righteous Protector is such a good card against any aggro matchup, especially if you can play it and then you can buff it up. It really gives you a few turns to get some cards in hand to start applying more pressure. In certain matchups, I suggest keeping the Underlight Angling Rod. It's really good at clearing the Kolkar Pack Runner from Hunters, or Rokara, or Playmaker, or Parade Leader against Warriors, which can really make a big difference, and it will allow you to protect maybe the Crab Rider that you played on too. Sometimes when I'm feeling greedy, if I have the coin, I'll keep a Crab Rider and a Blessing of Kings. You can play that in 2 and 3, and you're threatening 10 damage to their face every single turn. It absolutely obliterates Priest players, and anything we can do to beat Priest players is important. Guys, we have to stop them. So my final thoughts on this deck. I really enjoyed climbing with this deck. The games are really fast. Being able to play 9 to 10 games in an hour makes a huge difference when you're trying to climb back to Legend. When I'm playing 100 games, I save myself a couple hours playing this deck versus most of the other decks that you're going to see on ladder. Unlike the Rush Warrior guide I did a few weeks ago, where it was like an auto loss against Priest depending on which version I was running, this deck feels like I have a chance against every single one, and some of them you'll just beat by turn 4. The deck's entertaining. It's fun playing a minion, knowing that you have lethal from hand with all the buffs, they don't do something about it, and you smark them in the face for 14. That's a good time for me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this deck, or if there's any other decks you want to see in an upcoming video. Okay, let's get into the gameplay now. I included 5 games, all against different classes, that highlight the strengths and weaknesses of this deck. When things go right for this deck, it's crazy and you can win the game in the first few turns, and there's a couple good examples of that in the videos, so I hope you enjoy.
Okay. I like this start, though. Love this start. Alright, we just hope that he doesn't have Incanter's Flow right off the bat. Alright, so we're going to Crab Rider on 2. And we'll see if he does anything about it. Wow. Aggressive. Okay, I will gladly man crick on 3. So I kind of have to assume at this point that he has a Devolving Missiles. It's fine. Using lots of removal early. Kind of running out of stuff, but that's good. Cool. Alright, so next turn, I mean, that should survive. Yeah, it sucks. Cool. But it's pretty easy clear. So unfortunately what's going to happen here is that I'm going to play this. And he is going to probably Devolving Missiles it. But we need to get this out of the way anyways. So that's fine. There it is. Ooh, I like that draw. Love it. Play this guy. I'm actually going to coin out this other Murloc to make that first dude nice and fat. And now we've got a board. So next turn, I would like to Kings and Conviction and get them pretty low to set up a turn 9 lethal. Yeah, it's a beefy board, and he just used Devolving. So he could have another, but it's not a great board to devolve. It's actually pretty solid, but I'll still be able to hit him pretty good. Can't Flame Strike it. Wow, that's probably the best he can do, yeah. So I think we just Blessing of Kings, Goody 2 shields. Keep the pressure up. So we could have another Devolving. Yeah, I'm East Coast. Yeah, so everything we planned out before timing-wise, if you ever stream at 4, it leads in well to into my streams. But if you stream at 7, I don't know how long you go, but we might be able to do it reverse those times. Alright. Probably... Ooh, that's nice, though. So I think I have to test to see what it is. Okay. That is a dead mage. Oh, I don't want any of this. Dope, thank you. Ooh, I like this. I'm gonna do this first. Start drawing. Love it. So aggro druid's like really rough for us. Alright, so we've got conviction. So on 4, no, on 5, we could play both, which would be sick. Yeah, we carry a roam on 4 to discount the next 2 spells, so on 5 we can play both of those. And Ancient Braggart. Do not have a good turn here, though. Yeah, this is a weak turn. That's unfortunate. If I had like a weapon here to actually start pumping, I'd be in really good shape. Hey Felix, thanks for stopping by, man. We're going back for top 1000 legend. Yep. He's playing so slow. Ooh, that's nice. I'm gonna do it like this. One, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 18. I'm just off lethal. That's kind of cool. So I assume he's going to hit me with like a glowfly swarm. What? Is that lethal? So as long as my conviction doesn't hit this, I think this is lethal. One, 2, 3, 4, 10, 16, 20. Don't hit Cariel. Come on. Okay, good. Come on. Nice. Oh. That's pretty fire right there. That's pretty dope. Bops in the chat. That one deserves it. Warlock, I feel pretty good. Rogue, I feel pretty good. I think I will keep this exact hand. Okay, here we go. Sure, let's do this. Two minions is always nice. Should be guaranteed to get my Hand of a Doll off next turn. Ooh. Just keep playing little minions. So rogues really don't like it if you go wide. So I want to next turn play like Goody. Following turn do like Psychic and another goodie. Love it. Don't have a great way of clearing that. So I can steal cards. I could trade both and then play the goodie. Yeah, let's see what we get. I want some cards. Ooh. Okay, so it's Weapon Rogue. Oh. Okay, so when I get my weapon eventually, I'll do a ton of damage. Let's make him clear. With the aggro deck. Alright, so we need our weapon, and then we're going to start pumping. Pumping. Cool. It's not what we wanted. I actually don't have a great play, so I'm going to do it like this. I somehow have no buffs at this point. Yeah, like a Blessing of Kings would be pretty huge here. The Angling Rod would be amazing. Hammer the Naru, I think, wins us the game to have that big taunt out there. Okay. Let's see how this guy plays it. Does he... I assume he hits us in the face. Oh, and then he's gonna... Okay. Yep. Plunderer. It's a good play. Let's do it like this. Start pumping some damage. Now we're now actually going to play this one for tempo. Get here. Just trying to put out as much pressure as possible. That's a pretty wide board for him to clear on turn 5. So I feel pretty good. He could cloak, obviously. Yeah, I assume he's going to hit and then cloak. But he doesn't have enough damage on his weapon. Maybe he doesn't have it and he concedes? There it is. Yeah, I'll play Mankrik. Yeah, I mean, like, if his weapon was at, like, 7 damage, I'd be a little stressed out. And that's what's crazy about this Weapon Rogue deck, is that even from this position, like, if he has a bigger weapon, he hits you, cloaks again, and the next turn hits you, and then, like, Sinister, Wicked Stab, and you're dead. As long as he doesn't have, like, a Samuro. Okay, well, he can't hide. I somehow have no buffs to actually get this over the edge. Ooh, is he going to prep Cloak again? No, it doesn't matter. I've won this game. Oh. He's not dead, though. Oh, there's the card we needed. No one expects this. Boom. Boom. Gave the rogue a taste of his own medicine. Oh, great, we're playing a priest. What do you know?
Alright, so Crab Rider into a Blessing of Kings is a way you can win the game. That's pretty good. I'm going to drop this just to see what he can do about it. So on 3, we've got the weapon. You can put out some pretty immediate pressure. He definitely thinks we have Hand of a Doll, so he's going to try and clear that pretty fast. Him coining out a Scorpid would be the best case scenario. Oh, okay. Maybe at some point I'll try this priest deck, but not anytime soon. Oh, that's a really good card. It's not as mana efficient to do it that way. What's he gonna play next turn? On 3. I'm gonna do this and start pumping. It's too good not to. But Hysteria doesn't do anything because it's just gonna hit this twice, and so now it becomes a 3/4 for 3 mana, or 2 mana if he already had one. It's fine by me. Oh, okay. And it's not enough for him to smite this. So this is actually great, because now we can do this. So, like, he might have a Shadow Word Death, but, like, we're essentially checking to see if he has Shadow Word Death, that's fine, right? But we've put him down to a low amount of health. So he's gonna 3, now it has taunt. I'm 1 off lethal, right? So first I would do, there's 2 options here. I can Braggart to get another one of these, but then he'll Hysteria. Or I can Argent Protector to Divine Shield this, to kill this, and then do 7 face. I think that's the play. This is one of the... This Argent Protector and this Argent Braggart are the 2 cards that I added in to the deck in the last day that have really helped. Alright, so the one issue with this Paladin deck is that I have no way of, if he puts up a big taunt, hey, look at that. If he has a big taunt, I can't get over the top and kill him. I always have to go through the taunt. Okay, Warrior. First one we face tonight. Blessing of Authority is so good in this matchup, but if I don't have the coin, I need to throw it back. Oh, that's bad. Oof. Hand of a Doll, please. Love it. Alright. Alright, we just start smacking away here. Great card to have on 6. This is really good for when he starts playing Playmakers and... what's the other card called? It's Playmakers and Parade Leaders. Which, this is an ideal turn for him to play one of those. Or a Rokara. But a Rokara just gets cleared, so he can't do that. Probably Mancrick on the next turn. Oh. Wow. Okay. Let's go Mancrick. Alright. If we draw the wife, we win. The card is so good as a paladin, because you buff it up, your opponent can't kill it.
So Rokara here would be less than ideal. Then he can buff up his little guy. That's a pretty weak turn, actually. He's really thinking through this turn 3. This is the same deck I've been playing for the last few streams. Trying to get some good videos of it for the YouTube video I'm making tomorrow. Yeah, I played a little bit of Weapon Rogue yesterday. All the pros are playing it, so it's definitely good, but its win rate is not high, like across the board. Wow, that's a really weak play, because if he could have waited one more turn, he gets +2/+2. I don't recommend that play. Alright, so the good news is that we have Somuro. So if when he goes all in on a wide board, we will be able to clear it, and that's going to be nice. Okay, well, we can clear that. Do this. Goody Two Shields is an amazing card. It takes so much to kill it. And they have to focus on killing it because I can just put the Divine Shield back on it. So good. Okay. So now he's going to use Rush from the bumper car, clear both of them. That's fine. Fortunately, this is actually not that easy to clear. Are you not going to play the Rush? It's unfortunate that I don't get the clear with the Hammer of the Naru. Man, this guy loves to think through his turns. This card has to die, always. Ooh. So, it's a little early, but I think I have to get rid of this. I could hammer it. It's kind of weak. So strong, though. I don't like this turn, but I gotta clear it. It's gotta be done. So I've got some buffs. Ooh, we had another one. Luckily I can clear this one very easily with my hammer. And he's out of those. This is like the most terrifying card, honestly, I think, in their entire deck. This and Parade Leader. Ooh, that's nice too, though. This is just more threatening, though. Because without Parade Leader... Sorry. Yeah, without Parade Leader and Playmaker, this is pretty hard to clear for him. Because he doesn't have the buffed up cards. So, like, he could buff up a Swampthangg, but that doesn't even kill it.
And whatever he plays, I'll be able to really fuck it up with these two. And I can go to Divine Shield. Been fairly mana inefficient. That is an awful play out of him. He's totally desperate. 2 mana. What are you going to do? Okay. So I want to put Blessing of Kings on this guy. Yeah, let's just do it. Because now he's in range of being killed by my Alexstrasza, because I can weapon an Alexstrasza next turn. So, I don't know. Whenever you have the chance, I would just say put them at lethal range. Especially if they don't know they're in lethal range. Well, he obviously knows he's in lethal range. But even if he clears this, he's in lethal range. And I don't think there's any way that a warrior can clear this and get out of range. Watch me be wrong, though. Yeah, he's just fishing for something to save him. That doesn't even clear it, bro. Now you're going to concede because you... So close, dude. So close.